Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
Back at you in Gloves Off, and I'm Paul Buitrón. I'm here with a great guest, Gigi Rodriguez, who is stepping up to the plate and running for City Council District 1, right?
Yes.
And we're going to get to know Gigi. A lot of people already know her, but we're going to start. I want you all that don't to understand who she is and why she's running.
Yes, of course.
Good morning, number one.
Good morning, Professor. Thank you so much for having me here and giving me this opportunity. And yes, if anybody asks, like, who's Gigi, like, they see my signs out there, and like you mentioned, yes, a lot of people might know me since I'm very involved with the community, and maybe others are like, okay, who is she? And I get a lot like, she's very young. Well, I'm first of all, like, I'm a wife, I'm a mother of 3 beautiful children. I'm a proud resident of District 1. I have been my professional, I guess, my work experience, I have a lot of an extensive background on finance, budgeting, management, and customer service. I've worked in various government entities such as Laredo Independent School District, United Independent School District. I've even had the opportunity to work in for City of Laredo and Webb County. So that has allowed me to, get to know a little bit of everything and every government entity, that, how it works and how everything plays out.
Absolutely. And which is good, because you have to do that. You have to understand how to negotiate. You have to understand how to budget. Is very important, because the city
Very
has
important.
The budget of the city is very
The
important.
transparency in our budget, like, let our constituents know how everything is being managed, because sometimes being on the blind side, that's when we get all these questions. And I feel if we get the budget committee back into our city, and being for them to the community to be able to see where we're getting the money, how it's being spent, I think that that would be very helpful for our citizens of citywide.
Absolutely. And the transparency needs to occur.
Yes.
And that needs to occur for people to understand that, we're not doing anything wrong, because once you start obscuring it, people start
You raise
taking
red
yes,
flags.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, why now? Because I understand there's no incumbent in your race.
No. And I think that is one of the reasons we, when I say we, my husband and I am married to an elected official, so I was always busy, like, helping my husband on his campaigns. Like, I've always been on the political environment, but I've
Sure.
been behind the scene, helping our community. When Councilman Gonzalez ran, I know we were, like, behind him and everything. So why now? For that reason, because I never planned to step over anybody and say, I think the councilman has done a decent job
Yes, he has.
in the District 1, so why go fix something that's not broken? So now that the opportunity, I feel it's an equal opportunity for everybody out there.
Sure.
And I just feel, as my background experience, I've already been involved with politics for more than 10 years. And my financial experience and everything, and I know that's one of the area we are lacking in, to supervise and see more our budgeting and finance in the city. I feel that's how something that got me to run and get my feet more into the city and see how everything is being managed.
Sure. There's been a lot of problems with the city. There's a lot of people that right now are not happy with the city.
Yes.
And that's why you see a lot of candidates coming up as a thing, because everybody can say, you know what, like you're saying, budget, I want to see the budget. But what other concerns you want to look at and say, you know what, we need to change, we really need to change?
the safety in our community. That's one of the things. I know there is a grant out there, and I know District 1 qualifies for it's called the BDG, CBDG grant. It's Community Development Block Grant. That grant is for for safety, like safety issue, let's say. For example, we can use that. It's an amount of money that comes into the district. It's a federal fund that we can use to put out traffic lights, speed bumps, and things like that. District 1 is lacking a lot of that. I hear when I walk and I talk to the people, they are always like, I need a speed bump. It's like a tracking race here. They're always speeding, and you see it on the news where cars going to houses, and sometimes they kill families, and that's very sad because the safety is not out there. So you see, I know that there's that grant out there. So if given the opportunity by the constituents and being able to represent District 1, I want to make sure that grant is implemented in District 1 to put all those safety hazards in our issues in district.
Absolutely. And that's great, because we do need safety and security, and it comes in all facets, and speed bumps and police and everything else comes into play that we need to start putting
Work
it
together with our law enforcement to be more vigilant and visual at our communities. Even if they're doing the reports, end of the day reports, choose your community. Go park there, vigilant, do your reports, finish your day like a hero. Probably you're there and you're just like here doing a report, trying to finish your day, and something happens. They need your help at that moment. You never know. And that I think that would be very, very helpful in our district.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, we have excellent first responders.
Oh, yes.
We have excellent first responders, but I think we can tweak the police department and many other formats and get it better. We always have to better ourselves. And right now is the time to start, culling out those that are not and bringing in the better ones.
Yeah, like I said, if given the opportunity, I think what I've learned, and I don't know if you're familiar, like city council, when you're given the opportunity to serve as a city council, there is only one employee that answers to us, which that will be the city manager.
Sure.
I feel like if I go and I say, okay, I'm going to go into this department and do this, I'm falling into wanting to micromanage the city, and that is not correct. I feel that would be the person I would go and sit down and talk to him and say, okay, give me feedback of each department, like how we can work, how we can help the police department to better serve our community or our city, and get familiarized with every department. Yes, of course, I want to visit the department, but to give them a little pat on the back, and I'm a big believer as being I've been a manager and a supervisor of various departments, and I always say, if you treat good your employee, that employee is going to go above and beyond for you, and he's going to do more than you ever expect, because he's working on a good environment, because he feels he's being appreciated. So that is something that I focus a lot. Take care of your employees and see their needs. Maybe, some pay raises for the city employees. If you compare their pays with other government entities, you'll see the city is underpaid. And with that saying, maybe that's a way we can start, so we can bring more positive things to our community, like for them to work harder or invest more on their jobs.
Sure. There's the city. I think you mentioned one thing: micromanage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the micromanagement is around. It's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to get at is the city of Laredo now.
Mm-hmm.
Like we conveyed earlier, it looks like if it went back a couple of decades, Okay, and it's gone back pretty back in many ways. It's become not friendly with small businesses. That's the attitude that's there.
Yeah,
It's not friendly with people that want to move here and open up a business, even though they claim to be.
I am very supportive on the small and local businesses.
Sure.
I wanna see what we can be done so we can look for grants, something to help them pick up their business. Also, another thing that you mentioned, we were talking earlier, it's we need more businesses in Laredo.
Absolutely. I mean, you go to the mall and it's dead. I mean, the stores are. I mean, it's sad.
Yes.
And you go downtown.
And I told you, downtown for me, I have a lot of childhood memories in downtown. I remember, and I tell all of my friends, like, I would look forward for Saturdays because my dad would always take us shopping downtown, and we would, I guess that was even a family bonding. Like, it would be mom, dad, me, and my two sisters. There was tons of stores where to go, shoes, accessories, clothing, novelties, everything. Now I go and it's sad. There's only a couple of perfume stores, one or two clothing. So, it's very, very sad to see how our downtown has deteriorated a lot. And the city has allowed it.
You're absolutely correct. And so number one, the consensus of the small business owners is that we're left behind, we're forgotten, and the city destroyed our businesses. That's a consensus.
And I want to take that off their mind. Like, I want to be a city council. If the people elect me, to change that set of mind that the city wants to hurt them. That's why I want to do the research of grants or, release their permits easier. Like, not make it that difficult for them to get a permit for this and that it's going to help their business advance.
No, you're right. Now we can go into businesses and grants and business building permits because, I was looking for another space to move. And I myself found a place. We're looking at everything out here. The real estate here is high. There's nobody here that's compassionate about somebody starting. There's nobody here that was. In Dallas, I have businesses, many businesses in Dallas. And you could negotiate. You can even say, you know what, I'm signing a 3-year lease. They'll give you 4 months to get started and put up there. It was no cost for them. They were doing it. Yeah. Here you have empty spaces that are not complete from the inside. They're just shells, what they call. And you have to put something inside. You have to put sheetrock and everything in the building. Yeah. So that's gonna, I was looking at one of them. I said, before I even start, I'm already putting in at least 50 to 60,000, and then going forward, just in the construction inside. Then who knows how long? I called the planning and zoning building department actually, and I told them how long would it take. I'm trying to get a temporary electrical permit. Yeah. And they told me it's gonna take about 20 days. And when you do that, you're like.
And that is
a problem.
A problem. And right now, you mentioned the cost of living in Laredo is very high. Okay, and that I think that's why we get a lot of businesses leave to other cities, and I would love to stop that because I see a lot of potential, I'm in the mommy and me because I'm a mother. So as mothers, we're always on the run. And so if I need a little gift for a teacher or whatever, like I go into the mommy and me. You see a lot of talent, a lot of potential there of having good small and local businesses in Laredo. But what happens? They get turned down by when they go and ask for a permit or let me see. They want to be legal and they want to, get permits and have a good place to expand their business, and they give them all this book or all these rules, and they're like, okay, no, I can't afford it. I just keep on doing it from home, and that is why we are like, our cost of living keeps on being more expensive. You go to the valley, you go anywhere near us.
It's different.
It's very different.
It's different.
Even to buy a house.
it's different, you know.
The market over there is a lot cheaper.
Yep.
So I want to get my feet in and see, okay, how can we help our community to be, leveled to other cities, at least, or if we can be better than other cities would be great, but
Fantastic.
at least for now, leveled to other cities.
You know, we always claim we're the number one port in the nation, we're the number one, whether it's land port or seaport, we're the number one, we're the number one, we're the number one. But we're like the number 50 and a bunch of other things, and we're not even in the top 10 and a bunch of, unless it's a bad list, then we're in the top 10. So you know what I'm saying? We have to change the attitude. When I moved back here, I'm from Laredo, and I moved back here in 2000. And I read an article in the Plain, and it said Laredo was the second fastest growing city next to Las Vegas. Okay?
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it was the second fastest city next to San Francisco a couple of years later. And then you never heard about it anymore. And then you're like, well, what's going on? What's wrong with Laredo? How come we're not there? We have, not only do we have the talent, we have the entrepreneur base here. We have the free thinkers.
You offer an amazing program. I did it. I have my small management certificate let me tell you, I got to meet a lot of business owners that I still get in touch with, and that I'm still touch bases and I talk to them, and I see how they learn a lot to invest to their business. That's why I'm very committed. I feel like I like to small and local businesses. And that's an amazing program. I think anybody should go and check it out. You learned a lot of the do's and don'ts, and even though things you think like, I love numbers. I'm a numbers person. So when I got into that, learning all this new software and everything, it's just amazing. You should try it out.
No, and that's what we need. We need how can I say, we have it here. Why are we losing them? We're losing them to much more different things.
Support it.
Let me tell you a story. And I've been, teaching wise. I had a student of mine in Dallas. They ended up getting married with a young girl from Fort Worth, and we became very good friends. In time, he still sends tickets. They ended up moving to California. Her father had a prosthesis manufacturing company. One of the best in the nation. He calls me up about 3 years ago. It was around COVID time. And he goes, we're moving back to Texas. Do you think Laredo would be a good place to visit?
Definitely.
I said, yeah, what do you need? We need railroads that can take us places because we're manufacturing. And I go, we need a warehouse that can be on the warehouse. But we already have that. We have those structures here. And I go, come look at it. And he goes, it's not a big firm, but we're going to be bringing down 30 of our management team, our designers. We're all moving over there. We'll end up finding the workspace. We're going to be hiring about 150 people. And I said, sure. Before I even talked to a city councilman, before anything, I said, come over here. And I sent him to a friend of mine in real estate.
Okay.
And he called him, and he came down. We had lunch. In fact, we had lunch at Don Pablo's downtown, because I showed him downtown the area, look at the way it was before. There's still some warehouses here. I showed him around everything else. And then he went with a current real estate agent and talked to him, and he said, more likely we can end up, because of our employees, everybody that's going over there, we're probably going to purchase houses. And you're looking at about 20 houses.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way we can lower the prices? They wouldn't budge. I'm like, okay. They're bringing this business. They went to McAllen. McAllen was jumping for joy for them. Even the builders and the real estate agent lowered their prices. But they didn't have the railroad infrastructure. So the father said, let's look at Fort Worth, surrounding areas. So they ended up putting the company in Fort Worth, and they ended up buying houses in the near vicinity for that. We lost that because our real estate agent, and it goes into all the little niches. The real estate agents have to snap out of this greed, like good money. No. If we can all start telling people, you know what, lower this down, we all let lose, but we sell more. Start thinking about that.
And I think that's one of many things that Laredo has lost, because either they have the bad impression, or they don't talk to the correct people, or they're not guiding like the correct way. And you see, like, those are a lot of issues that I want to be an approachable city council that,
Sure.
you know, I want to get information, like, you know, I don't want, like I mentioned, like, not go and tell them how to run their department, but learn their department. Like, okay, this department, how do you serve the community? And so if I bump into you, let's say, and you have a question, I am going to be able to answer your questions. I am going to be able to guide you to the right people, to the right department, right path. So I think that is something that a city council, and, you know, as a representing, not only, like, I guess I want to leave that individuality, like, of District 1, because I think when you're given the opportunity to serve as a council member, it's to serve the city. You know, so not because you come and have a question that doesn't pertain to District 1, I'm just not going to blow you away. Like, oh, well, it's not District 1. No, it's like our city. And, you know, and be able to answer all the questions and everything that anybody approaching you to. So I just want to be approachable.
That's good. And you said one key thing there, and that was when you become a city council member, it says district at the end, but first it says Laredo City Council member, or the City Council of Laredo, you know?
Exactly.
And that's what the title is. You represent
unity in our districts. Because
absolutely.
If you, and I would hear this back at school, there's no I in the word team. So I can't go and say, I'm going to do this. No. We still have 6, 7 district members more that we need their backup. We need our unity to bring Laredo forward, like, you know, leveled up to other cities.
Absolutely. And, you know, one other thing that I'm very much for is, even though that we're talking about that we both had divorce and everything, we still love our children. Okay?
They're a priority.
Absolutely. And there's something that is missing here, and it's something that sometimes people don't get along. Sometimes when people get divorced, and I'm gonna say it here, all of a sudden you go pick up your child, and all of a sudden, whether it's a male or female, whoever's a non-custodial parent, it could be either man or woman, goes picks up the child's not given to them, so they file a report, and that report is actually called it's a part of our penal code, which is Penal Code 2503. Or you can do it 2504 as well, but the 2503 is interference with child visitation, and it's a state jail felony here. And right now, Hidalgo County is winning. They're actually arresting people that are not, which are doing a great job. But it's not arresting people.
Yeah.
It's not the case. We don't want anybody arrested. What you want is to stop parental alienation, which actually affects the child a lot more. And you have issues like what happened in Uvalde occurred, because now we're finding out that the father was separated from the child.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Laredo, we have a problem that it's not enforced. Now they're kind of getting the gear up. 2 years ago during COVID, we passed a resolution, and we're going to try to pass it every year for them to go up and fight for it in the state. And what I'm getting the consensus of the police here is they blame, either they come up and they say it's a civil matter, we don't enforce, and it's not a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And the district attorney won't enforce it. Okay, fine enough. So here's what I'm getting at. The resolution was, why don't we add to the Penal Code 2503 and have a BC that every municipality can vote on an order that instead of it going into straight jail time, that you get 3 citations before the main infraction. and the citation could be $750, $750, whichever it is. I think that resolution will wake up a lot of these parents that are holding their children from seeing the other parent, a loving parent, that's what I'm saying, a loving parent, from going forward. What do you think about that?
I think all of that plays a factor, and let me tell you, like, I know we mentioned a lot of the pandemic and everything. That's how the children are being affected social, emotionally, you know, and that is one thing that I feel we overlooked, or, you know, we don't pay attention to that, but that's how everything triggers down to a fatality. After the pandemic, all these children were kept at home. So I think that's where it raised most of the issues that parents wouldn't pick up their children. Why? Because there's a pandemic. Like, let's say I'm a concerned parent and, you know what, I can't allow my kids to go to your house because that's a different family. How about if they come and they bring the virus? I don't know where you've been or whatever. That was our excuse, okay? So what did our children do? I deal with a 16-year-old and an 11-year-old going to the teenage while confronting a pandemic. What happens to them? All day on video games. All day, no social life. So right now we're post-pandemic. I'm not saying it's over 100%, but as you see, we are allowed to go out freely more without a mask. And I just feel that it's very important for them to spend time with both parents.
Absolutely.
And when you get divorced, the court order gives you the days.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that would be more as an advice as for both parents, like you say, complete both. Just do, like, let's say if it's my turn and I don't pick up my child, just do a police report. Sure. And that is only for backup in case anything escalates and you end up going to court. Just have background documentation of everything.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm pretty sure our law enforcement are going up. I never had the issue of them like saying, no, I can't do it or things like that. So I think they're very, very helpful in that area of doing a report. And, you know, mainly us as parents have to show a little bit more and just realize that it's not about us anymore. It's about our children. I'm in
full agreement with what you're saying. I had an incident, and I'll say it here and I'll say it openly. It was spring break during COVID, and I wasn't allowed to see them. I called one, came the other one. Called one police officer. He said, well, I can take her to jail. And he said, no, she's going to bring them back because they're at a party, so she'll take them to you at 8 o'clock. Fine. No problem, okay.
Communication, Paul.
That's it. Don't tell me you're not going to see it. Now you change. You know what I'm saying? So I leave, I go home, and he goes, but if they don't get there by 8 o'clock, so it was like 9, and I call the police. I go, hey, I'm not here. I have to file another one. Comes back in. The officer, and his last name was Salomo, literally got mad, takes 2 steps back, and goes for his gun. I call the police on the phone. I said, we're doing raise hands. I told him the trouble that I was in. I go, here we go. It's escalating out to a point, you know. He leaves. Later on, again, a supervisor comes in. Well, that same officer comes back. Well, I'm talking to a supervisor, yelling at me, you're a deadbeat father. I talk to your kids. They hate you. They hate you. You're deadbeat. I go, when did you talk to my kid? When did you do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
So that type of attitude occurs here. So we've talked to the police chief, and both the ones that have been very much champions towards this end was Vidal Rodriguez, who passed it last time, Mercurio Martinez, which was aboard, Dr. Marta Martinez, and also Ruben Gutierrez, and we've talked to them about changing what's going on there for a betterment of that, because there's a lot of emotions going on, and if we get somebody that's very emotional, police officer that shows up, because this is something we're going to go through first, third, and fifth Saturdays of a month.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Friday, you're going to see that.
I know.
So when you see these issues happening, we have to serve the community better, even if it's more training, and they need it. Let's start doing it, and I think that's where.
Yeah, and that's where I come at. We need to sit. I need, like I said, if given the opportunity, sit with the police department and say, okay, how can we help our community to enforce this better. Not to hurt them, of course, no, just to make them better, like on following their court order. That's basically
in the back, and but we can go into legalities in it, but in the back of this court order says whatever's in this decree, any police officer can enforce it, and if it's not being enforced, then it has to be done, and many other things as well.
Yes, of course.
But that's one issue that we're in. What else that you hear people complain and say, we
Oh, there's many. if you have a complaint, there are many. There's a lot of
I'm not talking about dog barking. I'm talking about major complaints.
No, of course. No, there's a lot of focusing that we need to do. Like, I've done my little bullets on, okay, I need to focus this.
What's a major one?
Like I said, I think all of them are major. All of them. I can't pinpoint just one and say, oh, this is my major, because it can be a major problem for me, but not for you. Absolutely. Maybe my second major, my second bullet, it's the major thing for you. So, I just think everything is important. Sure. Everything. Safety, deal more with our youth, with their emotions, and get them more involved with the community.
Sure.
I think it means a lot, like being a parent and being able to represent the district, because not only as a parent, I have children that they need more community service. Like they need to learn more of what happens around them. Because estos niños, they just stay home and video games, phones. They don't get out of their little circle, and they are our future. Eventually, we are gonna depend on those youth. So if we don't educate them, if we don't mold them, what are we gonna expect? What are we gonna? We need to create the good men and women that are gonna protect us later on.
Absolutely.
Or represent us.
Absolutely. And we have many fine young men and women that are coming up from high school and going into college, and we want to build Laredo.
Of course.
And other cities are removing them from us because we do not have the workspace, we do not have the companies that are here, we do not have the employment.
More job opportunities. That's okay. So if we plan to open more job opportunities, we need to take care of the employees that we have right now.
Sure.
Like I mentioned at the beginning, we need to, work on their salaries. Another thing applies our animals. Okay, I would like to designate a month for free vaccination and promote fostering for our animals as well. We need to pay attention to. There's a lot of stray animals that when we walk and we talk to people, you see a lot of animals on the streets and they're not taken care of. And I think that is also very important to work with our animal department and say and talk to them what are the measurements they need to bring fostering to more of our pets. Like I said, there's a lot of things that the city needs to get hands-on and start working. Transparency. I would like, that's one of the main two. We need to gain the trust of our citizens again. They need to trust whoever, if I get elected, I want to have the trust of District 1 and of the city.
And that right there, when you mean trust, you can see the comments in social media.
Yes.
People have lost trust, not only in our law enforcement, they've lost trust in our city dramatically.
Because sometimes they overpromise, and you cannot overpromise something that you're not in there. Because right now, if I want to get a vote, I can overpromise. Oh no, I'm gonna do this. But once they elect me and okay, well, she's saying she's able to do it. Once you're in there, you're gonna be, oh my God, we can't. It's not, it's not ethical, or it's not this, or, that's why you always stay feet on your ground and say, okay, let me target the small things that I know they're doable first and gain their trust as, okay, well, she said she was gonna do this, and she was able to do it. So now after I target the small things, let me go to, further and on. And it's like, I need to learn what it entitles to be like a city council.
Absolutely. If people wanted to get together and want to say, you know what, they want to follow you, they want to be part of your team or what have you, how can they get in hold of you?
My phone number, I'm always a call away. I'm more like to answer calls. It's more personal. My number is 956-635-9388. When I walk, I give out my business cards, and a lot of people reach out to me through social media. I'm under Gigi Rods right now, like Gigi Rodriguez, and I know I'm in the process of opening my campaign account. Right now, that's my personal, but a lot of people have reached out to me there, like, Gigi, like, I want to like help you out, like, you got my support and things like that. That all of that makes me feel good. Like, makes me feel like, you know what, I'm doing something right, or I've done something right, that the people are, okay, I want to give you the opportunity, to represent us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, number one, I want to thank you for coming out. And also, I'm also going to have debates.
Okay, great.
We're going to have a debate.
Awesome.
It's scheduled for, it's actually going to be in the south side. I could only find that one reception hall, which is a royal reception, which is, they've done good work.
Okay, yes. On Lomas del Sur?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's where it's at. Loma del Sur, yes.
Yes.
And we're going to have it there. It's going to be a sit-down dinner. And I'm going to have your debate, your all's debate, in City Council District 1. We have the mayoral, and we're also going to have the Texas State Representative. Because to me, they're all the other races are important.
Right.
But these are the ones that are leading the pack as per se. You want me to tell you?
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them there, you have one incumbent out of all of them, which is District 6, which you have a lot of people now jumping on board. And you have some other ones as well. They're all important, but these are the ones that have brought people in that have not been around for a while, or that have not been, how can I put it, they're not surplus politicians from,
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying?
I know,
You're getting
I totally
people that
understand.
they're working folks that are maybe I don't care if you work in the government or a municipality, but they're working folks. They're not politicians that were you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Jumping from one to the office.
Exactly.
No.
Yes, and that's something that the community should take in consideration. We're not, already coming with favors or political ideas. No, basically I'm here to serve everybody, like just everybody, and I want to be like have an open door policy that. Not because I'm in campaign right now, like, oh, you all can call me. No, you can call me today, tomorrow, and if we get elected. And even though, like, I'm always open for, I love to talk. So, see me, Olan? We'll be in the phone for a long time. I'm very friendly. I feel like I'm very outgoing, and when I go and talk, my husband always tells me, like, oh my God, you take a long time. Like, do you know them? No, I just met them right now. Like, but they ask me stuff, and one thing leads to another, so our conversation expands more than 1 or 2 minute conversation. So I like that.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we're going to leave you with this. We have 4th of July coming there. It's around the corner. A lot of great events coming of age.
Happy 4th of July, and stay safe.
Absolutely. So we're going to leave you with this. Y'all stay safe, be well, and continue moving forward.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.